What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? The current dating and mating scene is very savage. Okay. And I know on this channel, I always talk about self improvement and attraction and how men can better themselves. And that's never going to change. That's the whole premise, right? Because there's no use in being down and out your entire life. That's just a very sad existence. On the flip side, there are downsides, right? Sun, moon, yin, yang. For everything that is positive, there are negatives. And the dating and mating scene, especially the dating and mating scene, is no different. And I'm going to get right into it. This is a Tarik Talks Midnight Podcast. Sit down, relax, and enjoy. Now, when I say that the dating and mating scene is savage, of course, this is just a general umbrella, right? I'm not addressing everyone. I'm not talking to everyone, but even the people I'm not talking to, some of this stuff would still apply. They still face some of this stuff. Look, no matter how alpha or any of these other terms that you put, you have faced these issues or still face these issues to this day, right? And the reason why the modern dating scene is extremely savage nowadays is because it's very hedonistic in nature. It is very liberal. Now, some people, when they hear hedonism, right, they're like, oh, everyone's just having a blast and people are doing what they want and it's very free. It's very liberal, right? People are just screwing each other and just mating with anyone. And, it's all fun and games. But the thing about it is, it's actually detrimental in some cases, right? In many cases, it's detrimental because the main reason it is detrimental is because it creates this, free-for-all, no rules type of environment. Okay. It creates this just wild, wild west type of environment where anything goes despite the other person's feelings. Right. And this is why I'm not just talking about women. I'm talking about men too. Okay. I'm not one of these channels that are just going to keep addressing, oh, they do this and they do that. No, it's men have to take some accountability too. Okay. And one side effect of this hedonistic and this free-for-all type of dating and mating scene is that there's no loyalty, right? Everyone does what they want despite the other person's feelings. See, cheating and unloyalty, being unloyal has been around since the beginning of time. It is nothing new. This isn't anything new, fellas. Like, people being unfaithful has been around since probably, of course, we weren't there, right? But as far back as history goes, it's infidelity and unloyalty has been around, has been mentioned. Okay, you see it with these Greek emperors and Queen Cleopatra, just to name a few. But in the past, okay, it was shame. That was something that is shameful. Nowadays, it's almost encouraged, right? Nowadays, it's like, hey, you should have you a sneaky link. Look, you should have your fun. It's a free-for-all. Do what you want. It's your body, right? We all hear these axioms and we hear these little sayings and these mottos. And what this says is that it's a free-for-all and you can do what you do. And the negative side is it F's people over. It emotionally scars people over, right? So when you get cheated on, Now you're scorned. Okay. Now you're scorned. And what happens is you're going to you're going to subconsciously, okay, you're going to subconsciously have a revenge type of mentality. You're going to have a jaded type of mentality, meaning every relationship you get in now you're going to subconsciously, deep down in the back of your head, you're going to be thinking, oh, this person is going to cheat on me. So what do? You do it back. You do it to them, right? You do it to them first. Like it's almost like I'm gonna do it to them before they do it to me mentality. And if it's not that case, right? If it's not I'm gonna do it to them before them, you just do it because you can, because there's really no societal caps on it. You're just like, I'm just gonna do it. It's fun, right? And I'm guilty of this too. I'm guilty of this too. I'm not an angel. Guys, don't ever think I'm this holier than art thou type just because I'm on YouTube. I've done this before in my lifetime, right? And when you're in this dating and mating landscape, you're going to see some things that you don't want, right? You're going to see a lot of married women, a lot of women in relationships, and they're out here running amok, right? They're out here running amok. And even for my fellas, man, sometimes I get a little disturbed on how some of my fellas act. They'll be in full-blown relationships, full-blown marriages, whatever, and they're out here chasing tail on a night out. I'm like, well, damn, man, the females ain't faithful, the men aren't faithful, and it's just fucked up. It's all in disarray. And what it does is it just kind of, now, disclaimer, are there some successful relationships out there? Of course. You can never say that something is an absolute truth, right? I'm never going to say that there's no successful relationships. Just because the majority of what I see is jacked up does not mean I haven't seen some relationships that are healthy, as far as healthy goes, because of course every relationship has its little bumps in the road, right? But for the most part, in general terms, we just see like the single parenthood. I'm gonna talk about that real quick. This is just a prime example of how relationships and how dating is just so jacked up. Almost every, like, single parents are even it's becoming the norm. It's like people that are still together is not normal, right? And I went off the rails there a little bit, but it's just to kind of illustrate what I'm talking about. And people, man, they're just and like I said, I'm not innocent of this. I'm guilty of this too, because this is just the landscape that I was born into. Not making excuse, but it's a free for all, like one night stands and having these casual flings, and it's glorified. It's all glorified. But what these flings and these one night stands do is they hurt people. It hurts both sides of the party. And you can argue up and down that it doesn't. Well, if that's the case, then why are so many people, why do we see a record number of depression? Why do we see a record number of people who are just emotionally damaged? Right? Like these painkiller narcotics, Xanax and Percocet, they heavily crack down on those. You could barely even get those nowadays. But the reason why they crack down on that is because people were abusing the hell out of them, right? People are abusing the living crap out of Xannies and Perks. And they were like, you know what? Like, this is going out of hand. One of the reasons is because no one is happy, right? And you could probably trace that to the casual lifestyle, right? This whole hedonistic lifestyle of quick pleasures, of quick gratification, right? quick pleasure and quick gratification is going to leave you feeling empty. This is why a lot of people abuse narcotics. And yes, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to admit it or not, casual flings, one night stands, all of those things, they contribute to people they contributed to that depression, because it just kind of takes a part of you on both ends, right? You have let's take a young lady for example. She has a casual fling with a guy, right? And she might not even ever talk to him again. Guess what? A piece of that guy is always going to be with her. A piece of his energy is always going to be with her. And unfortunately, most of the time, the energy is negative because, like I said, it's just a vicious cycle of hurt people, right? So usually if a young lady is in a whole casual hookup scene, she's going to deal with a lot of damaged men. So what type of energy do you think she's going to take? Right? She's definitely not going to take on this man's reading and playing chess energy, right? She's going to take on his depressed, halfway suicidal, I'm not going to say the word so I don't trigger any algorithms, but you know what I mean, idle tendencies, ending on life tendencies, right? She's going to take that type of energy. Okay? So it's just something to think about when you out here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.